Okay. Okay, James, we're ready.
Okay, we'll go a little early. Welcome everybody to Portsmouth Coffee Talks evening edition. And my name is James Slim Overton, and I'm here with Leah Drake-Stitt, and she's a co-host. Is the Colonel coming on? Have you talked to him?
I haven't heard from the Colonel.
Oh, okay. So the Colonel might be coming on later on, but we have a special guest with us tonight. Name is Roy Corby.
Corby, yep.
Corby.
Mhm.
Yeah, and glad to have him here because tried with Kelly, tried several times, several different dates, trying to get it, and we were determined, Kelly and I were determined to get you up here. So we finally got this date, which is anytime we got you would be a good time for us. So glad to have you here. Appreciate you being here. And Roy is, if you don't mind me using Roy, and please call me James and Leah. Roy is the general manager for Rivers Casino Portsmouth. I guess that's the title, because you have places, other places. So we're Rivers Casino Portsmouth.
Right.
And we like that identification there. But Roy, since we have you here and we want to give you the opportunity to give a summary of sort of an update, because a lot of people know what's going on now. And one of the things, we're kind of glad that because when the first came up, a lot of people were kind of leery about it, or some people were in direct opposition of it. And I was one of those in the earlier years until you all came in and started sharing information with us. And I was convinced that this probably would be something that was good for the city. So give us a little summary. But before you go there, one of the concerns I think early on, and probably remaining now, even though the citizens did overwhelmingly on the referendum agree to have it here, one of the concerns is minority participation and the hiring of citizens out of Portsmouth. Is there any data right now up to this point that will let us know if we are hiring out of Portsmouth, if the people are coming, and what kind of minority contracting is involved? I know you are the general contractors and you have all these other subcontractors with design and things like that. And before I let you answer, I'll answer this. You all made certain promises, concessions about what would be done. How holding is that to the subcontractors under you as far as, going along with what the city and you agreed with?
So the subcontractors, so the general contractor, Al Yates, we worked through them. They know what our agreements were with the city and also the Virginia Lottery Board, and the Economic Development Authority. So we require them to give us weekly status updates on what their SWAM participation was. And we hold them to it, right? We had given a commitment, off the top of my head, I'm gonna say it was over 30%. And we really exceeded on that number. But a lot of that is, small business and women. Some of the contracts that we've specifically focused on for a local community was, as well, let me say that a lot of the subcontractors brought on labor from inside of Portsmouth itself to make sure that they met our commitment.
So, and like I was asking, is there any data now that you could share with us about where we are as far as hiring, as far as are the people from Portsmouth, or are they from Virginia Beach, or how that is, and the minority contracting? Are there any names of contractors or anything that you can share just to reassure some of the citizens, because they were the major concerns in the beginning?
Sure, I can tell you that as of this morning, we had 3,500 people go all the way through our employment process and fill out an application. Over 60% of those were from inside of Portsmouth itself. In my perfect world, I would hope that when all is said and done, I would be 80% Portsmouth employed. it helps in so many ways, right? I don't have to worry about traffic in the tunnel, getting them here. I don't have to worry about, you know, the price of gas going up as much as I would for somebody I hire from Hampton, or having to deal with, you know, potential increases in the tolls, the price of tolls on the tunnel. So my perfect world, I would hire as many people as possible out of Portsmouth. I'll say that as of today, we have 175 active employees. I'd like to take those first 60 out, because those are specialty people that came in because of their experience to open a casino. Managing a casino or running a casino is a much different animal than actually getting one open. So, you know, the team that I've selected at the executive positions, all very experienced in this. My top 8 people, we've participated in over 28 casino openings. So that experience wasn't local to us. So that leaves you about 123 other positions. And a majority of them are all Hampton Roads residents, with probably about 35% being Portsmouth residents so far.
And one other
what
question
are those-
before Leah, let me finish. One
Okay.
other question before Leah comes on, and I see the Colonel is here, and welcome.
Yes.
One of the, and this is probably in the contract, but so people will know, you're the general manager and Rivers Casino is here. What is their commitment in years to the city of Portsmouth with the casino? You know, we don't want to look down the road, or 5 years from now, you're all turning it over to someone else when we're depending on the promises that you all made. So is it a commitment within the contract of years that you all have committed to?
There actually isn't a commitment in any of the contracts. Now, the casino license, I believe, is for 15 years, the initial license. We fully expect to be here. Our Pittsburgh casino just celebrated its 12th year, you know, a couple months back. So we're, you know, our owners are committed to the properties that they've invested in.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
Go ahead,
James,
Leah, I'm sorry.
I guess you asked my question that I was getting ready to ask, so I appreciate that. So we'll let Colonel have an opportunity to ask this question.
Yeah, I sensed that, Leah, so I had to get the jump on you.
You had to get it in first before I could get it in.
It's all good. It's all good. Yes. Hey, but I'm so glad to meet you, and glad you came on the show and everything, and to answer some questions. So you talked about the hiring process and the numbers that you're hiring. And then so within there, so if I'm Mr. or Mrs. X and I come in, and what kind of positions and upward mobility would I have? And where would this, when I hire, I can look in the numbers, the same folks that my janitorial staff counts in that number that you gave me. So what is the numbers in non-hospitality folks, to give a, you know, a metaphor?
Sure. So,
Basic management
right.
that can make decisions. And I know
So
you
we-
already discussed, you don't have a lot of expertise on the one end of opening that, but I want to look at, you know, I say, you know, I'm coming here, you know, I've been working in here and I got a couple masters and I got experience, and you have a lot of military and stuff like that. They've got higher degrees. Do they have to come in at entry level and start at the janitorial service to move up, to use a
No.
metaphor?
No, so some of those positions didn't require casino experience. So let me give you some individual examples. Our director of human resources is a Portsmouth native. She worked for the city of Portsmouth for a number of years, including the Marine Police, and now she's our director of human resources. Crossings Cafe is our 24-hour cafe, and Brianna, our manager there, is a Portsmouth native and was managing a Waffle House in Portsmouth. And walked into our job fair, and we just loved her personality and said, man, she's a perfect fit for what we're trying to embody. So what's funny is I don't have any frontline employees on that you're talking about. It's like EVS staff and all. None of them are counted in my initial hiring, because none of them come on until we get a little bit closer to opening.
Right.
So the numbers I gave you were all supervisor or above.
Mhm.
So,
Interesting.
Roy, for those individuals who may want to learn how to run the roulette table or do the card games or run the game rooms, what training is being offered to those individuals and how do they apply and get involved in that aspect of it as well?
Sure, they can go right to our website, riverscasinoportsmouth.com, and fill out an application right through our website, or they can come down and see us at 739 B High Street. Our HR team is there from 8 in the morning till 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 to 2, or they can walk into the Tidewater Community College building E, because that's where a majority of our executive staff is housed at the moment. I started as a dealer, so your example is great, right? We're running dealer schools right now at TCC,
Hmm.
and we pay for that to train the people. So I'll walk you through how that works. They'll take an 8-week class and they'll learn blackjack, for example, and then they'll learn several other games after they pass that class to make them as flexible as possible. As with the casino, throughout the day it gets busier into the night, and then starts to slow down again, so you need to be able to move people around to different games. So as they become a dealer, they learn multiple games, and then we start to train them on how to be a supervisor. That's exactly the career path I took.
Hmm.
Then they can branch out if they want to learn slots, and we can move them into slots from there, and then they understand the whole gaming floor, and they
Mhm.
continue to work their way up. We provide all the training opportunities for that. We want homegrown people to move up because we know they're gonna stay. That's what
Yeah.
we're looking for.
And and
Yes.
you see when you go into the casino, you have those individuals who maintain the slot machines. Are they trained in that aspect of it as well?
Yeah, we so the slot techs, as they're called, we look for people who have, some semblance of technical ability, right? We don't want somebody electrocuting himself. You don't want me going inside of a slot machine.
Just like you
That
don't
would
want me in
be
your game room, okay?
right. There we are. So we look for people who have some semblance of a technical ability, and then we train them on what all the different parts are and how they work together, and when something goes wrong, what they need to do. But yeah, we train all them.
Mhm. Roy, I know harken back to the people you're going to hire in the future and the statistics that Slim talked about. So is that for your HR person? Are they going to publish that every quarter, or as we get ready to get closer to opening up, that a statistical breakdown? Say, we'll just say two of the 100 people that we've hired, this percentage of males, females, this percentage Hispanic, African American, and Indian, da 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 da. Those demographic kind of things and educational kind of things. These are the educational folks that we brought in. Most people came in. Everybody. 90% had high school or above, or came in with master's, PhD. That kind of stuff that I'm used to looking at statistics, having been in recruiting for the Army for 9 years. We look at that kind of stuff.
Oh, well, first, thanks for your service. My oldest son was active duty Army for 5 years, so thank you for that.
Mhm.
No, at this point, there's no plans to advertise that or publicize that. I'm not against it. Quite honestly, I think it's important to be held to a scorecard, if you will, and for the community at large to understand what our goals are and how we're doing for those. So I'm not opposed to that at all.
Mhm, mhm. Another question is, for you to land on and break ground, am I correct? You got a tax abatement for the program? I mean, for your institution?
For the casino,
Yeah, for the casino, for
I'm
that
not
land.
aware. I'm not aware of a tax abatement, but also the land purchase from the EDA, all that happened prior to my joining Rivers. So, but I'm not aware of one.
Okay, so after they bought the land, there was no set aside saying you don't have to pay taxes for 10 years or whatever, like a lot of companies do down south.
No, no, no.
Good, good, good. Yes.
So
So
Roy,
what happens if the I know you published this $16.3 million annual taxes that you think that is going to come back to the city. What happened is that though that is projected, when I do my write-offs that you have, do you see that going down, or you just think that's historically that's what you've done, like in Pittsburgh and other places, that $16.3 million is going to be static?
Yeah, that $16.3 million was based off of the original study that was done on what the gaming revenues will be for Portsmouth Casino. Then included the local tax and a couple other taxes. No, if those gaming revenues are accurate, that number is solid. And as gaming revenues grow, then that number will grow.
Yeah. So the write-offs won't affect that number.
No.
Yeah, like, in business, I can, I write off, the first year I write off the cost of the whole building, per se, and all the cars, which is a net negative. So at the end of the year, I actually, even though I made money, I lost money on paper.
Right. No, we won't be in that situation.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Leah, you were smiling when I asked that one.
yes, well, I want to goodness, Colonel, you made me lose my thought. You just went on. It made me lose. I'll come back to it. It'll come back to me. James?
Okay, yeah. Well, Roy, you all have already proved to be good corporate partners,
See,
neighbors.
James, why do you always run in my lane? That's
I'm
what
reading your
I'm headed.
mind. I'm reading your mind. But Roy, go ahead and toot your horn about some of the things you all have already done, and when you finish that, is that something that will continue once operations are open and going? Because y'all have done some really good things in the communities and the neighborhoods so far, especially that 25,000 to Norfolk State University.
Yeah,
My notes right here, James. My note. Okay.
that was a really proud moment for me. I think that Norfolk State was such a great and worthy partner for us, and it was an excellent opportunity to support their efforts to get out to Pasadena. So we were thrilled to do it. Yeah, what I'll say, I'm proud of Rivers Casinos, the whole brand. Each one of our properties does such a wonderful job engaging in the local community. The 4 properties that are already open, they averaged between the 4 of them, they had over 8,000 community hours donated last year from their team members. Right, so out cleaning the waterfront in Pittsburgh, along the river, in Schenectady, out cleaning city parks, working along with Habitat for Humanity to build homes. So this is something that's really ingrained in all the Rivers casinos, and our brand, our ownership considers this extremely important. So developing relationships, around the city has been really important, and that's not going to end. It's actually a big part of our presentation to the Virginia Lottery Board next week for our license. It's so important.
So is all that a part of the Rivers Givers program, or is that something completely different?
No, that's all part of the Rivers Gifts program. So that's, like I said, that's a combination of volunteer hours, direct monetary contributions, in-kind donations, such as, if Boys and Girls Club is throwing a fundraiser and needs to use our space, right, we would donate that space, things like that. So Rivers gives us is an important part of who we are.
And Roy, one of the questions that people are asking, because there are a lot of events that are going to take place in the city, and they're concerned about the hotel. What is the what are you looking at as far as the hotel is concerned? To bring people from out of town to be in that area where the casino is. I know you were waiting to kind of see what type of clientele you were going to have. Am I correct? Before you make that decision?
Really, we're looking to see how big the demand is. So, we have a spot. We know where the hotel is going to go on the property. So the worst thing we can do is start building the hotel now, and let's say we build 120 rooms, and then
Mhm.
next year we realize we needed 200.
Right,
Because there
right,
would be no way to go back and rectify
right,
that
right.
with where the hotel's going. So we want to get the first, 3 months, 6 months out of the way and say, okay, where's the business volume?
Mhm.
And where is it coming from? Are we driving a lot of traffic from the Richmond area? Are we driving it from, coming up from North Carolina or even out from Virginia Beach? That'll tell us what size we need to build.
Mhm.
We're committed to a hotel. We know we need a hotel. It's
Yes.
a matter of how big that hotel needs to
Mhm.
be. We have to get that right.
And
Mhm.
what impact do you think the casino in Norfolk will have on the casino in Portsmouth?
It's a great question. They're building in a nice location right
Yes, they are.
downtown. And I'm sure they're going to do well. But we're going to have a pretty good head start on them. I don't know how long that is, but we'll have a head start on them. And it all comes down to service, right?
Mhm.
As long as we're treating the guests right,
Mhm.
I believe we'll build the loyalty we need to withstand that.
It's all
Uh,
about customer service.
Yes.
absolutely.
It's all about customer service. So, and
And,
I
and
understand, and I understand now that many are vying to be there. They're waiting for the doors to open. Mayor Shannon Glover has just been taunting me with the fact that his State of the Union address is going to take place at the casino. I
Yeah.
told him, how can you do this before Norcom can get there? Okay. So I know the mayor is coming in, and also you have some other people and the president at TCC.
Yes, Dr. Constance's going to hold her inauguration event there also. Absolutely. The TCC, besides, the city of Portsmouth, the Economic Development Authority, absolutely fantastic to
Mhm.
us. But TCC also is such a special relationship. We have all our offices there. We rented their kitchen, and we do all our menu tastings for our restaurants there. And we try to cook for their staff on the days we do that. Because of how good a
What
partner
day
they
should I be at TCC?
are. See you
For the
Friday.
tasting.
Come on over tomorrow. So TCC is such a special relationship that when, you mentioned, customer service and hospitality being so important to the casino. And right after that is security.
That's right.
People need to feel safe.
Mhm.
We're building a police substation on the grounds so that Portsmouth City Police will have a station there and we'll be able to work out of there. We're building that. We're paying for that because
Mhm.
we feel it's important. We know it's important to our guests. We're going to patrol our parking lots. We're also going to patrol TCC's parking lots because of how good of partners they've been to us, that we want to make their students feel safe as well.
Do you have many
Well,
of
you
the students from TCC who is applying for positions there at the casino?
We've had quite a few that come through, and we've had our first job fair was at TCC, and as the students recognize, oh, that's the casino group over there. We've had a bunch come in and apply, and we're going to do a lot of internships, whether it's with TCC. We've already hired some interns from Old Dominion and from Norfolk State.
Great.
You know, it's important to the school. It's important to the students. It's important to us.
Mhm.
Mhm. Roy, y'all have done a lot of great steps, and I have to applaud you, especially your corporate collaborative with the city, the local universities, and and the public and everything. And so I got to give you some hands, give you some claps on that. So you're doing the right stuff. So you got to continue on doing that, and we look forward to it. And as I watch the casino come up, it looks like it's going to be beautiful. And I've been stationed just about everywhere in the country, and everywhere we go, my wife always loves those casinos, and so we always hit them. And so we can't wait to to set foot in there and to see what you could do.
And Roy, go ahead. You want to answer him?
I'd say we're very proud of how we design and how we build and the finishes we choose. It's important for our ownership that they walk on the property and be proud of it. There's casinos that strictly build to be as profitable as possible, and in the shows, and that's fine. That's a business model, and I can't ever fault anybody for that business model. But our ownership really cares in reinvesting in the property and making it the best experience possible. Our sports book is going to be spectacular, and it's going to be the biggest screen of TVs in the state of Virginia outside of an arena. It's just going to be amazing. So yeah, we're very proud of the finishes that are going on in there.
Well,
Well,
and
well,
getting, go ahead,
well, I
James.
have to ask. Go ahead, Leah, if you had
No, go ahead.
another question.
Go ahead, James.
Okay, I had to ask, as far as I rode by there the other day, and I agree with the colonel. It's really shaping up nicely. And one of the things that sold it on me was the part that entertainment venue is going to be there, which is something we are missing since they tore down Willett Hall. We don't have a place for plays and things, and we used to get national plays. Is the building I'm looking at now, is that part of the entertainment piece of it?
It is.
Or
We
is
have
that coming later?
no. That's in there. That
Okay, what I'm
part's
looking at,
actually,
okay.
that part's close to being done.
Okay.
There's 25,000 square feet of meeting and entertainment space set aside in that building. So we'll be able to do shows that'll hold up to between 11 and 1,500, depending on the seating configuration, whether it's round tables or theater style. As many as 2,000 in all likelihood, with some standing room. Plus, we have the sound bar, which is a live music bar inside the casino. That'll be 120, 140 seats, or plus standing, that we plan on having live music, whether it's a band or a DJ, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So there's always going to be entertainment going on in the building.
Now, and it was talk about the city creating an entertainment district along Victory Boulevard. How involved would you all be in that, or just your presence that will be the beginning of what's happening, or will you be involved in sort of helping that develop?
Yeah, we'd love to be a partner with Mayor Glover and City Council on fully developing the entertainment district. I'm sure right now it started with zoning, what businesses they're going to allow down in there. But when it comes to planning out that whole part of town, we'd love to be involved. We're hoping to be involved.
Okay.
And there's an interest, and I talked to you about this earlier, in your banquet facilities. How many will you have? How many people will it hold? Are there numerous? 1, 2? What do we have?
So that 25,000 square feet I've mentioned earlier, we can subdivide that out. So you have two meeting rooms in there, smaller boardrooms that'll seat between 40 and 80, or smaller amounts if you want. And then the main ballroom itself, that 13,500 square feet, is divisible into 4 breakout rooms itself. So you could have multiple things going on in there, or even do a small convention style business.
And what type of food venues are you planning to bring in?
Yeah, we have 5 great restaurants that we're really proud of. Admiral Steak and Seafood is a Portsmouth, it's specific to Portsmouth. We don't have it in the other brands, but that's going to have the best indoor outdoor space in the city. So a great bar that'll open up with space heaters, but not the space heaters that radiate heat down with propane and burn your head. Ones that come up from the ground. So that'll truly be a year-round venue, that indoor outdoor space. It'll seat north of 250 people, including 2 private dining rooms in there. One that'll accommodate 10 to 12, and the other one that'll accommodate 20 to 24. So we're really, really proud of that space, and that's coming along wonderful. Crossings Cafe, I mentioned earlier, because Brianna's the manager there. That's our 24-hour. And it'll serve everything you would expect at a 24 hours. So we'll have breakfast in there, as well as steaks at night, soups, and a couple signature items. Once again, that'll seat just over 140 people. Mian is in all of our Rivers properties, and it's a fast casual Asian dining. Really excited about that. So looking at how the demographic plays out in the Hampton Roads region, a pretty large population of Filipino
Yes.
people
Mhm.
inside that Asian population. So Mian will also have a lot of Filipino dishes on there, besides what you would traditionally see at a fast casual Asian. What am I missing? Starbucks, right? We're gonna own the Starbucks.
You gotta
Who
have a
doesn't want-
Starbucks.
Yeah, who doesn't want a latte while walking around the casino floor looking for their slot machine? So we're certainly gonna have a Starbucks. And I am missing, Slice Pizzeria. So Slice Pizzeria, right? Figure on any given day we'll have 8 to 10 different pizzas that people can purchase by the slice out there. Another one that we're really excited about, and that's a Portsmouth exclusive. And then we have the Sound Bar, which is really just a bar venue, but we can serve food there from our other restaurants. Top Golf, you'll be able to go in and play golf in 3 hitting bays. If you've never been to a Top Golf, what a great business model. People who really have no desire to go out to a golf course, but
Mhm.
want to swing a club at a ball and just laugh with their friends while having food and drinks. So we'll have 3 bays of that, and that's in the best location in the casino. That'll be overlooking the sports book. It'll be wide open. That's beautiful. So we're really excited about that. And then the sports book bar, which will be in the center of all the action. I mean, it's really going to be the focal point of the casino.
What about retail businesses? Will there be any retail?
No retail at this
No
stage.
retail.
No, we will look at retail once we design out the hotel, because
Mhm.
obviously you'll need a small sundry store, right? People are going to forget things when they travel, things of that nature. So that'll go with the hotel.
Mhm.
Mhm. You mentioned the types of foods. You missed any Southern foods?
No, although there'll be Southern dishes on the Crossings Cafe menu.
Okay, yeah.
And you said
Is it-
Crossings Cafe is a local entity?
It's a Portsmouth exclusive. So some restaurants we put in all the Rivers brands, like Mian,
Yes.
for example. But Crossings is a Portsmouth exclusive.
Okay. All right.
Interesting.
Roy, I asked you too, and excuse me, I'm getting kind of hoarse here with the code, but I asked you to go back a little bit and let us know how important it is for a company like yours to have a good relationship with the city government as well as the city officials coming
Mhm.
in, even though you all have spotted, a location near the interstate, and that's a plus, other than being down on the waterfront, but being near the interstate, that's about the second plus you can have. And how important was it for you all to have that kind of relationship as you negotiate? Because you all gonna probably be an economic engine for us.
Mhm.
And going forward, other companies coming in, they're gonna have to have that same kind of relationship to feel comfortable coming in the city of Portsmouth.
Sure. Well, as you know, when Virginia passed their casino gaming laws, and it authorized 5 cities to have gaming, based on the referendum in each city. Rush Street, our parent company, looked at all the various cities to decide where they wanted to build. And after meeting with the Mayor Glover, and Portsmouth City Council, we realized this was the best spot for us. We didn't want to build in any of the other cities because we thought the relationship with the mayor, the Economic Development Authority, the City Council, the city manager was really right on. And that's, it's so important to having a successful operation. As I mentioned, we're not required to have a police substation. The city didn't approach us. We approached the city. We want to
Mhm.
partner with you.
Mhm.
Crime is certainly a concern of everyone's.
Mhm.
So how do we mitigate that up front? Where can we place cameras for you? Things of that nature. So, like I said, the city's been absolutely wonderful to work with. And I'm thrilled that going forward, I anticipate that's going to continue. So, and just get stronger. We really want to be part of any solutions for problems that the city faces. Took a tour of the city a couple weeks back with the mayor and some other business leaders to look at some of the city parks and the rec centers, and say, how can we do more for children in the community? And how can we be part of that solution? So now I'm really excited about the relationship with the city.
That's why,
Excellent.
and I was going to follow up with, as you do marketing throughout the country for your casino here, it's also be important to market the other annuities in the city of Portsmouth, because people come, they might want to come here and gamble and stay a few days, but might want to do some other things, especially if they happen to bring their children. We have this children's museum and things like that. So it will also be important for you all to be able to go along with some of the other annuities that we have that will be coming, because of
Yeah, we've done
what's
some
happening now.
we've done some things with the children's museum, just some small donations, and tried to be part of everything they have going on. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Portsmouth has a lot to offer, and not enough people know about it, and we have to be part of the help of getting that word out.
Wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Okay.
Roy,
Go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead, Colonel.
and this might be a personal thing. So, is the organization private or public, and are you on the stock market, listed on the stock market for investors?
Yeah. So Rivers Portsmouth Gaming is the actual company that owns the casino, and it's private. Although 5% of the ownership is from local minority investors.
5%. Okay.
Saw Colonel's eyes go up into the sky, but anyway.
Well, so those 5%, they're already in. You're not looking for those 5%.
Correct. They're already in.
They're already in. Okay, gotcha. You couldn't name those.
No,
I knew,
no, I couldn't do that.
Roy, when I saw his eyes go up into heavens, I knew where he was coming next. So
Yeah.
Roy said, no, no, Colonel, not today. Not today,
Well,
Dante. Not today,
if you don't-
Dante.
yeah. If you don't ask, you can't get.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So,
Yes.
so Roy, so we're looking, you say, to open the mid January, mid 2023, a little later on in 2023, or
Early 2023.
early
So,
2023.
yeah. So the process is this. Right now, we don't have a casino license.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You have to go before
We built this entire property and
wow.
spent over $100 million without having a casino license, because we're confident. Our company's been licensed in every jurisdiction, so that we've applied for one. So we don't have a concern that we're going to be licensed, but still we're not. So we can't announce opening dates or anything of that nature. So next week we make our presentation to the Virginia Lottery Board, and hopefully that day they will vote to give us a license, and then we can start to make some plans on, okay, when can we open? When can we get the building finished? It's early 2023.
So historically, how has that worked? Have you known of instances when you've gone before the lottery board or whatever group, whatever state, and they kind of put you on hold, or?
No, it happens, but it's very infrequent. And traditionally when it happens, it's with groups who have never been licensed anywhere else before, and they don't really understand what is involved in going through this extensive background check that you have to go through, personal and financial histories of all the owners, all the key executives. So it's happened in the past, but to my knowledge, only with people or groups that were first-time casino purchasers. So,
Okay.
like I said, our group's been licensed everywhere they've applied, so we don't have any concerns.
So currently you're in Pittsburgh, and where else?
Pittsburgh, Schenectady, New York, Philadelphia, and Des Plaines, Illinois, which is right outside of Chicago.
Right, right.
Yeah, so we're the fifth in the family.
Okay, all right.
So,
Go ahead, Colonel.
say you're projecting of the other places, what do you think, since it's football season, do you think Portsmouth is going to be moving up the Richter scale to be #1? And what do you think? Make your prediction now. So 5 years from now, we're going to say, oh, you predicted what? You gave us
I'll tell you what, if we ever took overtook Des Plaines as the #1 casino in the Rivers brand, my boss would love me. So, there's such a big population around that casino. It's really tough to say. All of our casinos lead their markets, and I fully expect that we're going to lead ours even after competition opens up. I'm really, really encouraged about this market and the support we're getting, the comments, questions we're getting. So I'm really bullish about this area.
So, what are you putting in place? Because typically when something is new, people gravitate towards it. They're just so happy to have it. And then after they've been there for a little while, it kind of dies off a little bit. So what plans are you putting in place to keep that energy, keep that motivation, keep the people coming to Rivers, Portsmouth?
Sure. Well, the hotel's part of that, right? I mean, so continuously having things to announce or talk about. But really, in the casino world, it's really about service, as we talked about before. Having a reward system, a loyalty card program that allows people to earn points and use them in a variety of ways that they want, whether it's at restaurants, whether it's for hotel rooms, retail when that comes. So it's continuously putting money into our product, making sure that we're listening, that the bands that we have at the sound bar, bands that people in the community want to come out and listen to, that the entertainment we book inside the convention space is entertainment that people in the area want to come out to see, and continuously just growing that and doing it better each time.
And national entertainment.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Every one of our casinos does.
Yeah, and typically, when casinos come, you have a group of people who tend to lose their minds. They lose everything they have. What mechanism is put in place to deal with those people who become habitual gamblers?
Sure. So Virginia has a self-exclusion program for problem gamblers. So if someone realizes they have a problem, they can self-exclude from all the casinos. We also put all our employees through problem gaming training to help identify and then work with management to approach people that we suspect may have an issue. So no one takes problem gambling more seriously than people in the casino business, because it's a stain on all of us. We don't want that. We don't want to see that. We want people who have come out looking for entertainment, and this is part of their entertainment budget. I don't want somebody coming out saying, I need to make my mortgage payment.
Right.
I need to be lucky enough to buy Christmas presents. None of us want that. So it's important that we train everybody on our team to recognize what the signs of that are. So.
Good.
Well, Roy,
I want to ask, is that original 1,300 jobs, does that include once the hotel is here as well, or will that be additional?
Yeah, no, that 1,300 is full employment with everything open, including the hotel.
And another thing, it's a lot of land around the casino. Depending on if you go past that 62 million, way past it, would it be any room for expansion, or is that something that be looked at down the road? I'm just wondering. And any kind of expansion like that, would it be something different from a casino? Or?
Well, so we're part of an entertainment district, and we would look at all the things that go into an entertainment district and work with the city and say, okay, you're right, there is a lot of land. We have more land, but then directly across Missy Elliott, there's 100 or so acres there that I believe the city owns.
Yes.
Now, getting traffic back through Missy Elliott isn't the easiest thing, but there's opportunities there. So, like I said, you look at all the things that are needed in an entertainment district, whether it's a movie theater, bowling alley, Dave & Buster's type environments, things like that. We want to be part of those solutions. So yeah, expansion is certainly possible. And we'd work with the city to say what's the best way to accomplish it.
And
Yeah,
Roy, I
I'm
want
sure
you to
y'all
know
did a traffic
your biggest
study.
cheerleader is watching at this time. Shannon Glover is online and he's watching, and you can tell him that I gave you all the accolades that he told me to give to you. Okay,
You absolutely did. It's wonderful that he's listening.
he is listening. Go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
Um, I'm sure y'all did a traffic study along with your projections and everything. Did it necessitate you asking this or telling the city they might need to expand Victory Boulevard in order to accommodate uh, what might be an anticipated increase in traffic flow,
We've
especially if the,
certainly, we've
go ahead.
certainly talked about it, that there's potential that it will need to. We've also had meetings with state police, Portsmouth police, Norfolk police even, FBI. We had a meeting, Chief Jenkins, 6 weeks ago, got us all together to talk about the casino and talk about traffic, what's gonna happen, not just on opening weekend, but when we have big shows, right? The state police has to be involved because you worry about traffic coming down off of the ramp off of 264 and backing up onto 264 potentially. So working with them to say, okay, we could do a lot on our side from a security standpoint to get people into the parking lot off of Victory, but we need your help, state police and Portsmouth police, to mitigate that light right there. So if you're coming from the Norfolk area and you have to make the left underneath 264, you catch that light turns red immediately. I know I travel that every day. So if there's a big event going on, we'll have to have somebody stationed there to man that and actually direct traffic, hold up the light, things of that nature. So yeah, they've been great. Chief Jenkins was on top of this, as was the state police. So I'm pretty comfortable with our traffic mitigation plan at this point.
And what
And the
about
last thing
parking? What
along
about
those
parking? I'm
lines,
sorry, James. Go ahead.
last thing
James.
along those lines, you had a good relationship with the surrounding communities, specifically the Civic League. Will that relationship continue? And if so, how?
Oh, absolutely, because we are regional. A good portion of our employees, most of our guests, most of our daily, weekly visitors will come from outside of Portsmouth. In all likelihood, I would expect that people inside Portsmouth will make more individual visits. So somebody who lives in Portsmouth might make a visit 3 times a week, where somebody from Hampton might come once a week. But I would expect that there will be more people from outside of Portsmouth actually coming to the casino. So we have to be involved with the Hampton Roads Transit Authority, as well as the other cities, to make sure that, okay, how do we mitigate the traffic? How do we work with you to get buses here for our employees who are taking a bus to work, using mass transit? So we've met with everyone, everyone that'll possibly meet with us in the 5 cities we've met with. So everybody's been great so far.
And
You know,
what is parking going to be like at the
quality of
casino,
life
Roy?
people already have.
We'll have just over 2,000 parking spots out there. So I'm pretty comfortable with where it has to be a really big event for us to not have a spot for somebody.
Okay.
but you know,
James,
when
did I
you talk
talk over,
about
did I talk
2,000
over you,
parking
Colonel?
spots, yeah, 2,000 parking, right? You know, that's a lot of area. So isn't planned to like build a parking garage so you can go up and out, instead of burning up a lot of land?
Interesting thing about parking garages, and I believe we have a garage at all of our other properties. But
Right.
some of that is due to space. But interestingly enough, when you do studies, you find that parking garages, when they're not done because of need, like space-wise. So if you have ample surface lot parking and the garage, the surface lot parking will always be better utilized, because over 58% of our customers are women, and a lot of women don't feel safe walking into a parking lot, into a parking garage, especially at night. So the surface parking will always be busier. So are we looking at a garage? We're certainly going to consider it with the hotel. We had considered it early on, and then we did away with it. But we have to revisit it with the hotel because at that point, maybe 2,000 spaces isn't enough.
Yeah. Because I use that in connection with when I go up to say MGM and they have the big parking garage there, and I just love, just pull on in and it's always lit, and it's well traveled, and I feel safe as a new baby coming out, So
That's safe.
I'm an advocate of parking
That's
garage.
quite an analogy, Colonel.
I know. Well, I'm into the metaphor,
Yes.
It paints
James,
that
did you have something to say? Did I speak over you? I'm sorry. James?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Earlier you did, like I've been stealing your thunder. You stole one
You
of
know
my
what?
questions.
Roy, I think we've been doing this so long that we seem to be on the same pattern, and I'll write a note down, and before I can get the note that I've written down, he comes and he asks the question as though he's looking on my paper to see my note.
Mhm.
But Corey, we are, Roy, I'm telling you, I'm excited. I'm like James. When they first thought the idea of the casino, I was like, oh, I don't know. This is going to be good for Portsmouth, And then people were concerned, like I said, about possible crime. And of course, I told them, of course, the casino would be one of the safest places you can be in the city of Portsmouth because it's going to be well patrolled, well taken care of.
Well
And
lit.
I have a tendency to go to casinos for the entertainment. And so I pray that you have some great entertainment because I like to go to the shows.
Well, you send me the names of some local bands that you enjoy while you're out besides the big name headliners, and we'll make sure that we get them.
That's wonderful. We would definitely do that because
We have some good ones. Yeah.
What'd you say, James?
Get Missy Elliott.
Yeah, it'd be good if we could get Missy or Pharrell. That would be great, especially since
Wanda Sykes. One of you has to know Wanda. She's from Portsmouth.
Wanda's from Portsmouth. Her family is right from the Churchland community.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I know her mother.
Yes.
Don't
Maybe
know
we
Wanda,
have
but
to do some politicking to see if we can get these people to come back to Portsmouth,
Yep.
James? Well, I thought James was about to say something. But Roy, this has been amazing. This has been an amazing time talking to you. I have been looking forward to this for such a long time. And I would constantly tell Shannon, when can we get him on the show? When can we get him on the show? And then James told me he had talked to Kelly. And I tell you, Kelly is amazing. Kelly has kept us abreast of what you all have been doing and made sure that we knew the works that you are doing in the community. And for that, we're truly thankful and truly looking forward to many great things for the Portsmouth community based upon what you all are bringing here. I like the thoughts that you put into it, and I like your energy that you're giving me today. And so we're just thankful at this time, that we will have a place for entertainment in Portsmouth because for so long we've had to go outside of the city in order to have some good entertainment or just a good place for to get with your friends. So maybe you just have a group of ladies who just want to find a place just to hang out for a little while,
Mhm.
And I'm thankful. And Kelly Davis Webb says that great show. Thanks for the opportunity. So so they're coming on. We don't have as many listeners today because we have 2 playoff games today.
Right.
Churchland High School is in a playoff and Norcom High School is in a playoff. But once we put this on YouTube, it will soar, I'm sure, because many of the questions asked are questions that the citizens are asking. And this way they would know what to expect and what to look forward to in the Rivers Casino in Portsmouth, Virginia.
Well,
James?
I thank you very much for having me on and being able to talk about the project in the city, and I've enjoyed it tremendously. I hope that you'll have me back on either right after we open or right after we announce when the opening is.
Oh, you better believe that's going to take place.
Good.
You're part of us now. And I'd like to give a shout out to Kelly Davis Webb for her consistency. We worked on several dates, like I mentioned, trying to accommodate Roy's schedule, but we were determined to have him on. And I don't know how she did. She has triplets.
She has triplets?
Triplets running around. Yeah, she has triplets.
What age?
I don't know what age, but they are young. They're
Little
pretty
people,
young
right?
and active. Yes. So
Yes.
shout out to her and thank you, Kelly, for all you have done to make this happen. And like we said, we will continue to follow up and with Roy, and anything, Roy, that you want to contact us about, please feel free to do so if you do it through Kelly or whichever way you want to do it. So
Perfect.
And
The
to
only thing-
Denise Wilburn, who's asking, Denise, he cannot give you an opening date until after he meets with the lottery board here to get the final license. So Denise, you will know, because as soon as he finds out, we're going to invite him back on Portsmouth Coffee Talk. So you will know exactly when it will open.
Denise, just save your money, Denise.
Save your money.
And don't play any more than you can afford to lose.
Amen. That's
Exactly.
right.
That's the key.
That's the key.
Well, I can't wait to go. I love slots myself, and I'll play a little blackjack myself, and I'm getting ready for you.
Perfect. Can't wait to host you all out. I'm looking
Yes.
forward to it.
Well, they're going to have to teach me. Like I said, you don't want me in your game room. So they would definitely have to teach me, even the slots. You'll have to teach me. Okay. So
You can come out to TCC anytime. We'll teach you blackjack right while we're teaching our dealers. You can
That
play
sounds-
with them,
you know
give them
what?
some practice.
Roy, we may have to take you up on that. Can we bring the
Yeah.
show live from there for your class? No.
You can't show that. You can't show that.
I know.
Roy, the last thing, Roy, I think you mentioned earlier, it might have been off camera, that you're the general manager, and it's not just for the project. You'll be here once the casino is in operation.
Yeah.
So you'll actually be living here up until the time that you won't be living here. But you
What do you know?
Yeah.
Who's talking?
you know, because I mean, if it's really successful, they're gonna send you somewhere else, of course. But hopefully you'll feel welcome here in the city of Portsmouth so far, and you'll find some great accommodations, and welcome to the Portsmouth family, as we like to call ourselves.
Mhm.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. My wife and I love it here. It's been an amazing experience so far. A lot of restaurants that we enjoy down in Portsmouth and High Street, and I love the area. So I'm here. I'm not going
Yes.
anywhere.
And Roy, since James says you're here until you're gone, what other projects have you taken on for Rivers?
Well, Rivers, they started me in their Pittsburgh property.
And how long were you there, Roy?
Hmm?
I'm calculating how long you're going to be with us. How long were you with the Pittsburgh property?
I'm not going anywhere. This is where I'm going to stay. So they're going to have to fire me because I'm not going. We're not moving. We love it here. We do.
But that's good. I'm glad because as I said before, I like your energy. I like what you bring to the table. And I think it's going to be a great thing for the city of Portsmouth. I really do. And just look
Yes.
forward to being involved and coming out there and see what's going on. And maybe we can even plan some activities for our 110th year at your casino. So I may
That'd be
be
great.
talking. I'll be talking to Kelly. Kelly's the one I need to talk to, right?
As you know.
Yeah.
You
Kelly
okay?
makes things happen.
Yes. Kelly, you hear that? Norcom's 110th year next year, Kelly.
But Roy, I let you off the hook, but I'm gonna have to put you back on the hook when I asked you about ranking the 5 casinos, and you wouldn't give me a definitive answer. So I'm interpreting, because you said in New York, you'd say you'd like to get revenue up to them. So right now, theoretically, you're saying we can get to number 2. Is that what you're saying?
Colonel, he says he's taking it to number 1. He's not going to stand for the second position.
Yeah, well, I have to call him out, so that's why I can't let him get off the hook that easy.
We're going to be number 1 here. How's that? We are going to be.
Okay.
We're the first permanent casino to open in the state, and we're going to be number 1 for a while. So
Okay.
let's hold on to that.
Well,
Yes,
Roy,
that's
we're going to do all that we can do to help you maintain that number 1 status.
Great.
Yes. Yes.
And as we close out, Roy, we'd like to thank you again for coming on. I hope a lot of questions were answered that people have. And I'd like to appeal to the people watching. You can still send questions to our site and we will pass them on to Roy. You know, we can't possibly cover everything, but we tried to cover those basic questions that we hear out in the community all the time, especially the ones we heard in the beginning. And, you know, a lot of times misinformation gets out there. So
It does.
what better way to get the real information out there is coming from the general manager himself. So we appreciate him coming on and doing that. And
And
hopefully
Roy,
we
Mayor
form
Shannon,
the relationship.
Mayor Shannon Glover says, thank you. Welcome to our family.
Yes. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, if there's no other questions or comments.
Well, we're
I'll
going to
pause
close
for a
out. We're
minute.
going to say something nice about Roy before we leave here.
Roy, it was great talking to you. Thank you for answering all the questions. Even when I tried to tie you down, you wiggled out of it. I'm gonna let you slide this time. So it's okay. You did
Thank you,
well.
Turtle.
Yeah.
And James,
Yeah, I've already said it.
well, Roy, once
I
again,
just
I
said
just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, a lot of the citizens were saying, how did y'all get him to come on Portsmouth Coffee Talk? So now they will see you, they will hear you, and they will understand what great things are beginning to take place in the city of Portsmouth. We are rising. We are like Phoenix rising out of the ashes. This is going to be a great day in Portsmouth, and for all the citizens, for those who gamble, for those who don't gamble. It would just be a great day to have a place where we can go and feel safe and enjoy each other and I'm thankful. I'm thankful to you, Roy. I'm thankful for you and what you bring to the table. I'm thankful for Kelly most of all. Kelly, we will talk. I'm thankful to Kelly. So, but thank you so very much. And Roy, did you want any last words before you leave?
No, once again, like I said, just thank you for hosting me and giving me the opportunity, because as James said, there's sometimes misinformation out there, and you know, what better way to clear that up than to just, you know, go on a show like yours and answer the questions. So anytime you'll have me, I'd be thrilled to be back, and thank you.
And you're very transparent, which is good. Okay.
Yes.
And Denise wants to know, are you going to be open 24 hours?
We are. Yep, we're 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Whew.
Ooh, Lord have mercy.
Boy,
I'll be there right after I get my honeydew list done. I'll be camping out down there.
And Ira Darden says it's the best thing that could happen right now in the city of
Yes.
Portsmouth. And so we're
Great.
thankful. We're grateful. We're grateful.
All right,
Yeah.
everyone. Very nice to
and
meet
thanks
you all.
again.
Thank you.
Roy, and thanks for everybody watching. And Roy, hopefully we'll get a chance to meet you in person. Hopefully we'll be able to do a remote down at the place whenever it's appropriate for us to be there.
I love that.
So thanks everybody. And Portsmouth Coffee Talk is here for our voice,
Our community.
In our future.
All right, thank you. And we salute you, Roy. Thank you.
We salute you, Roy. We
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you,
Welcome
everybody.
to the
Take care.
Portsmouth family. Welcome.
Yeah.